All right, so I'm going to answer a question that I used to get asked quite a bit, and I've asked this question quite a bit before too. And I believe that I have an answer for it now, and that question is that if we so the question is what about people who were in tribal scenarios who never heard about the name Jesus Christ, or never knew who God was, and they're off on their own little tribe someplace, and that's what they're doing? Well, Romans 2:14 through 16 says that there are outsiders that come into Paul's talking in this letter. A shadow. Paul's talking in this letter, and he says that when you see an outsider coming in and they follow the law, who have never heard the law of God, follow the law almost by instinct, is proof that God's law is in our very DNA fabric, and God takes that into consideration on the final judgment day. Now, if the law of God is in the DNA, the very fabric of our being, of our creation, then that would mean that the blood, that the law covered the whole earth. It wasn't just a certain area here. The law covered the whole earth. So when Christ died, his blood covered the whole earth. Forgiveness covers everyone. And a lot of times you hear Christians say that you can't make it to the Father but through the Son, and that's true, but they're not making it to the Father without the Son. It's just that they don't know about the Son. The forgiveness of God covers the whole earth. It covers everyone. I think that there's a different God between mainstream religion of the world, and then there's the God of love. And if you worship the God of love, then you're worshiping the same God I worship. The God of religion wants to condemn people. The God of religion is the God of hate, who condemns people, and it wants the entity that religion is, wants us to curse people to hell. But we as Christians are not called to curse people to hell. Who goes to heaven and who goes to hell is none of our business. Which I don't even know if I really believe in an actual place called hell. I explained this in a previous video. But it's not your job to condemn someone else. It's not your job to rebuke someone else. It's your job as a Christian to love them and to preach the kingdom of heaven. That's the job of Christians. It is not to say who's going to heaven and who's going to hell. Where you go when you die is between you and God, and only you and God. It has nothing to do with what humans say. All we're trying to do, all that people and all that Christians should be doing, is loving each other and loving people in general. No one's perfect though, and I know that. It's so easy to fall into religious thoughts and religious ways of thinking, but if there's really no way that a person can refuse the name of Christ because they've never heard of the name of Christ, then there's no way that I can imagine they'd be going to hell, unless if they just, refuse it. But, it's like, well, a lot of times I think people refuse it because they were misrepresented who God is through some form of major religion, you know, and it's not all Christian religion. It's religion as a whole. You know, it's like you don't want to worship a God that doesn't love. I mean, you want to worship a God that loves. That's the God that you want to worship. And if you don't, and if you've never been taught about the God of love, I can understand not believing in God, or I can understand refusing the God of love when it's been explained to you, or I can imagine, you know, I can understand that because there's a lot of misconception about who God is through religion, but the God of love is real. You know, that's why all this is here. Look at this. The God of love wants us to have fun, you know? Look at these ramps. He didn't put the ramps there, but he put the dirt there so that people could come along and make the ramps, and it's fun. You know, he gave people the creativity to make those because he wanted us to have fun on this planet. You know, we're not supposed to be all depressed all the time. Oh man, it's so nice to be free from that. But don't focus on the dark side. Don't focus on the hatred of people. Focus on the love of God. Don't focus on that. Like I said in previous videos, that like if you focus on the hatred that's in the world, it's just going to add to the hatred of the world. And all you're going to see is darkness around you, and you're not going to see this, taking it all in. And you're not able to see the whole thing like I do. Look at these. Look at that. You know, it's just, I mean, my phone's kind of wedged between a couple tree branches of this tree, and so I'm not like panning it around and stuff, but you know, we have to, you gotta understand that the God of religion is not the God that's real. The God of love is. I kind of went a little bit longer than I was wanting to on this video, especially since there's mosquitoes around here bothering me. But there's a lot of stuff that if you're following God, then you're going to be wanting to talk about the kingdom of heaven. This is great, man. Just spread it. Spread the news about the kingdom of heaven. Don't spread about hate. We weren't called to spread a message of hate. We were called to spread a message of love. Who do you think Jesus Christ is? You know? Man. But if you're spreading messages of hate, I'll be praying for you. Alright. And I think that's what everyone who believes in the God of love should be doing for everyone who doesn't believe in the God of love, is we should just be praying constantly. You know. But we don't need to be, you know, there's just no hate in the heart of God. There's just nothing there, no hate at all. Just love. I can't even really explain it. I can't explain it with words. It's like, I don't know. Alright. I'm gonna go. Have fun. Don't bother with, you know, there's a lot of hatred in the world. Don't focus on it. Sorry for mentioning it. If you don't want to focus on it, then I shouldn't have mentioned it, but hey, we can't be focused on it. Just love. I don't know. I probably won't be mentioning it a whole lot more. So, bye. Just like and subscribe and do all that other stuff that people like to do.